Hello, everybody. My name is Phil, and together with Camilo, Dan, and John, we are the Game Pack. Welcome to the 39th episode of our gaming news podcast, the PackCast. We've got plenty to talk about this week. We have a Yacht Club Games Direct that we want to talk about. GDC postponed due to the coronavirus, aka COVID-19. And Switch is out of its terrible twos, and we're going to be talking about the Switch to celebrate its third birthday. And always, we will round out the show with this week's new releases and what we have been playing. But we have a quick update from a previous story, so I'm going to hand it over to Camilo.
Yeah, so you guys may remember a few months ago we talked about Desmond Amofa, or Etika. You might know him. He was a very well-known Nintendo YouTuber, particularly in like the Smash community. He was really well known for his like YouTube reactions for Nintendo Directs and stuff. There was a mural made of him a few months ago at the end of 2019, and very recently that mural has been made into a Pokestop in Pokemon Go. So now, this other YouTuber, Reversal, urged all of his subscribers to go through Niantic Wayfarer, which is the website you can go to nominate stops within the game. And a bunch of them nominated the stop, and 2 months later, the stop is in the game. There's a stop that reads Etika mural. It says, "Remembering the passing of Etika, Joy-Con boys forever." I thought this was really cool to bring up because I watched Etika a lot and I looked up to him, and the story like really pumped me up because I'm almost level 40 in Pokemon Go, and you need to be level 40 to use Niantic Wayfarer. So I'm excited to like partake in like when these kind of events happen and stuff like that, because it's really cool to like immortalize something into a video game, and it just got me really excited.
Awesome. All right, well, that's super cool. I know that we all think this is a great way to immortalize someone who loved Pokemon Go so much, and that the fans miss dearly. Rest in peace, Etika. All right, with that update, we're going to get into our first story, the Yacht Club Games Direct. Yacht Club Games, the creators of Shovel Knight, had a Yacht Club Games present. It was essentially a Yacht Club Games Direct. It felt a lot like a Nintendo Direct.
It was just a Nintendo
like,
Direct.
It was very like same transition, same.
Apparently, this was the second one.
Oh, interesting.
I guess they had another one prior to this, and they didn't have their faces, so it was just like gameplay and announcements. But this time they had like the producer of Shovel Knight and the lead designer come in, so I thought that was pretty cool.
So that was on February 26th, and it was showcasing their upcoming games, Cyber Shadow, which is a Ninja Gaiden-esque game releasing this fall, which I think looks super cool.
It does look awesome.
Shovel Knight Dig, which is a roguelike game where you dig down across various areas, fighting different enemies and bosses, which kind of is like, not Dig Dug, SteamWorld Dig?
Yeah, it's like a roguelike SteamWorld Dig type deal. And
then Shovel Pocket Dungeon, which is a match-3 puzzle game that I actually didn't think looked very cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just love the aesthetic. I just love the Shovel Knight aesthetic, so maybe that's why I'm pumped for this.
So our first discussion question is, how did Shovel Knight become such a household name? John, you want to jump in?
So I've been following Shovel Knight since the initial Kickstarter back in, I don't know, they had a whole timeline in the Direct, and I forget when it was. I think it was 2014 they had the Kickstarter, and then 2015 is when Shovel Knight initially released. And I know it was a huge deal back then, because I don't think indie games were that prominent like as console games or as games outside of Steam. And this
we had Meat Boy, we had Castle Crashers, but yeah, it wasn't what it is right now.
Yeah, and I think Shovel Knight kind of rejuvenated that whole indie scene, and the game's awesome. It inspired a lot of other indie developers to make similar games, to make those 2D platformers, in the
the 8-bit, 16-bit style. Yeah.
And Shovel Knight's everywhere. Like any collaboration, any indie game collaboration, it has Shovel Knight. Like Shovel Knight's in Ukulele. Shovel Knight's in there's that fighting game that's like Smash.
Brawlhalla?
No, I forget what it's called.
The other one that's like Smash.
Yeah, the other one like Smash. It's coming to Rivals of Ether. He just pops up everywhere, and I think Shovel Knight's a really cool character. I have the amiibo. I love the games, and I can't get enough of Shovel Knight content.
Yeah, I think the team that made Shovel Knight went about it really smart. Like I think they must have studied like the various elements that made past games popular, and really just cherry picked the best stuff and put it in. Like I watched a video once, like deep diving into like why it's so popular, and they were mentioning things like the shade of blue they use for Shovel Knight evokes Mega Man and that nostalgia, and like
I think the gameplay was a lot like Mega Man and DuckTales, and a lot of people have nostalgia for Mega Man and DuckTales.
Yeah, it was really smart of them to incorporate so many different elements from so many different games that are beloved to really like basically get instant nostalgia when you play the game. It's so cool. Yeah.
Totally.
Would you say that Shovel Knight, I don't know if this is true or not, but like did it kind of like revive like that Metroidvania type of game? Cuz like it was kind of like 16-bit, right? But it was like a newer type game. Like I don't
It's not really a Metroidvania.
Yeah, I think it was more like a platforming.
Yeah, it's level based.
There's so many 2D platform. I feel like there were not as many 2D platformers before Shovel Knight came out. You had like the standard fare from the first party people, but but like indie 2D platformers. And now we just have an overabundance of them.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited for all these games. Cyber Shadow looks really cool.
Yeah, totally. And that's I think the thing I was the most excited about, because it's the most different. It's not just being like, hey, here's a character you like in like a game that's kind of like another game. It's Cyber Shadow is like a pretty original.
Well, I don't think they made it. Idea. I think they're publishing it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Yacht Club has become like, I don't know, an indie publishing house, and they have this huge like Shovel Knight's a big IP. It's gonna be around for a while. So
yeah, totally. I don't see it going anywhere. I mean, you guys were saying before, it's like one of the reasons why it is a household name is that it's in so many other properties. Like I think he's in Runbow. Like he's in
Smash. He's in Smash.
Yeah, he's in Smash as
a
trophy. Yeah, he's just in everything. He's established as like a major video game character. People voted for him to actually be in Smash. Like that's why he came in as a trophy. It's just like crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. And it's important to mention that like it's not just a simple matter of saturating the market either. Like they went about this strategically and smartly. Where like you could just throw out your product to everyone all at once and just like have it everywhere, and then it flops because you didn't go about it properly. But yeah, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, they like started out like here's the base game, and they build it on the base game, and then you keep getting free updates for years.
They just had they're gonna have another free update. It's not gonna have any additional content.
Yeah,
but they're patching like that Smash type mode that's in Treasure Trove.
Yeah. What are they patching?
Oh,
just like balance tweaks.
Yeah, they're balancing some characters. I don't know. I didn't try that mode yet. That Showdown. Because I feel like that would be more fun with people. I don't know if you could play that online.
I'm still stuck on Spectre of Torment for some reason. I can't figure out how to get back. I haven't tried it since I've talked about it, but I love
Spectre of Torment.
Stuck on that title screen.
Oh, you can't get into it. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Spectre of Torment is probably my second favorite campaign in the game. Shovel Knight's just a really good campaign, and Plague Knight, I don't like how he controls. I played a little bit King of Cards, and that's kind of different. It's like a card game as opposed to a platformer.
But there's some platforming elements in it, yeah.
Yeah. There's still platforming stages, but like the King of Cards part is a card game.
Gotcha. So then it says, will we see other indie games branch out to use the same brand but different types of games? So, like, we have already seen it with Yooka-Laylee, where Yooka-Laylee did the banjo thing, and then they're like, oh, hey, we've got these characters. Let's do the Donkey Kong Country thing. So
and actually, it turned out really well. Like, Impossible Lair is a lot better than the
it's definitely better than
original.
The predecessor. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other indie characters that could, like, make different games.
Undertale, they can have...
I mean, they're making, like, that sequel.
Yeah, but that's still, a similar type of game.
It's still like really... an RPG, but it definitely plays different.
Yeah.
I mean, Shantae's an indie character. I'd like to see Shantae in a different type of game. I really like her.
Yeah, the Shantae games are really good. They're confusing though. Like
speaking of Metroidvania. Yeah.
Hollow Knight is indie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a cool one to see cross genre.
So
a Hollow Knight RPG.
That would be cool. I do want to see different genres with these same characters. Like an RPG would be cool. Actually, the SteamWorld games, they do that.
Oh, they totally do that.
So they have the SteamWorld Heist games, and then they have Heist, which is more like an RTS. Yeah. It's like a real-time strategy game. And then you have Quest, which is a card RPG. So yeah, I guess the SteamWorld games do that, and those are really good too.
Gosh, what other indie games would be cool?
Dead Cells. Well, I don't know how you would make that into an IP.
You could do anything, dude. You could turn Dead Cells into just a 3D game.
Yeah, that's true. Cuphead would be cool to see in a different type of game, like an actual platformer. Or
yeah, I really like the running gun levels.
The 3D platformer would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah. Might not look like a cartoon anymore, like an old cartoon.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Who knows? With the Xbox Series X, anything is possible.
All those flops, man. Anything is possible.
12 teraflops.
Cool. All right. Any final thoughts on Yacht Club Games Direct? My final thought is that it was a Nintendo Direct, so I guess it's like a little of like a tip of the hat.
That's just like Nintendo. That's the format. Like a lot of companies are
right.
Oh no, they like did the
feels...
same transitions.
Yeah,
and
it
was very close.
It was extremely samey.
Yeah,
having
the company
people
seems
stand there and talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, this company seems to do a really good job of borrowing elements that work well from other companies.
Like, hey, if it works, why don't we do it?
I feel like it's not as gross from them though. Like when Sony rips off Nintendo, I feel it's more gross.
Yeah, with Yacht Club, it doesn't seem like a ripoff. It seems like an homage or just small enough elements combined in a different enough way.
I mean, it was a straight ripoff. Like there wasn't like some similarities. It was a Nintendo Direct, which whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's almost like parody at that point. Cool. Well, let's wrap that up and move on to our next story, which is less fun because GDC, the Games Developers Conference, has been postponed to the coronavirus, COVID-19, to coronavirus concern. So GDC has been postponed from March to the summer due to the withdrawal of many companies like Sony, Microsoft, Epic Games, Amazon, Facebook. The CDC recently warned that it is not if... What'd you put here, John?
It's not if, but when the virus will spread in America.
Okay. It's not it, but when.
So it's a given.
It's a given. So what implications will this virus have on other gaming conventions moving forward? E3, PAX? Do you see this going into the summertime? It didn't seem to affect PAX, right?
Well, I think some companies did pull out of PAX. Like I think Capcom, and there were a couple other companies that pulled out of PAX. PAX East.
PAX East, yeah.
Nintendo was there because Animal Crossing stuff was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there will be a definite impact until everything really like settles down, and that could be several months still.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see this tying up neatly with a bow in like the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, at this point, it's still rapidly growing.
Yeah, like it's
still unknown. It's still an unknown.
Yep. We're still trying to figure out how to prevent it, and like trying to get people to like be smart when they're, wash your hands, like don't. Like...
And I know like PAX East and all those conventions are like petri dishes for. Yeah, I've always heard that when you go to a convention like that, you get sick.
No.
So hopefully there's no like carriers at PAX East.
Oh boy.
Or
or E3 this summer or GDC this summer.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're sick, stay home. Go to the doctor.
Don't
go to a gaming convention.
This is it's relevant. It's not gaming related, but I'm planning on going to Disney World in June.
Mm-hmm.
And we got our tickets and everything, but we're holding off on flights just in case like it becomes a pandemic. Because I don't want to go down to Disney that has thousands of people.
Yeah. Lots of children too.
Yeah.
Scary. So I guess that moves into just a general question. Do we think that these are smart, cautious measures, or do we feel like people are like knee-jerk reacting? Is it a potential overreaction? Do you think they're more trying to appease people, or do you think they're like, this is the smart thing to do? What do you guys? That's kind of like 6 questions in one.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think it's pretty prudent of them. The actions seem warranted. Yeah,
I think it's warranted because
it better be safe than.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, not to draw attention away from this, but in Pokemon Go and with Niantic, they are actually for all the affected areas, they are like shutting down like all the events and stuff, and they are like giving you the Pokemon through like means where you don't have to like go out and stuff, like through participating in like the Go Battle League. They're like slashing price on like incense, and they're saying like, oh, you can get more Pokemon through incense, and like don't go out, like all that stuff.
There's like a shortage of masks and stuff over in China.
Well, people what is it? Is it the CDC? Has asked people to stop buying masks so that the people who actually need them when like in the medical profession can get them because there's a shortage.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I mean, it's very unknown right now.
Yeah.
And people don't know, like, who knows? This could be the next plague. Or it could just be...
let's
like
hope
the
not.
common cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's the strain of the cold that's, hard to beat. We don't have a... What are they called? Don't really
vaccine?
Have a vaccine for it. So we'll see.
Yeah, initially it seems like those with compromised immune systems already are being, a higher risk of more serious repercussions of getting sick. So even if everyone is young and healthy that will attend these events, they still could get sick and then potentially spread it to those who may not be as young and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that could be a serious issue.
More of the concern is just like spreading it everywhere than to like actually catch it and like.
Yeah, exactly. Because a friend of mine, their dad is like a really like famous cardiologist, and it's basically just like, yeah, like if you're healthy, it'll make you sick, but then you'll get better in a few weeks. If you're not healthy, if you're older, if you have an autoimmune disease, like then you're at risk. but really it's like the big problem is like let's contain so that it like doesn't go everywhere, and then get to those people who have the compromised immune systems, trying to protect them. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna prevent me from, I'm going to E3 this year. I'll probably still go.
Unless it doesn't happen.
You don't think it'll happen in the summertime?
I don't know.
Maybe they'll just do all world premieres. Just
stream it live.
Bunch of directs. Here's a direct from Quarantine Zone.
Is that the latest game or the location?
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next. What's this one? COVID-19. COVID-19. I can't wait for COVID-19.
Yep. I actually was talking to somebody and said H1Z1 when I meant to say H1N1.
Yeah, I know. I always think about that.
I was like, whoops. And they're like, don't you mean H1N1? I was like, oh, yeah, H1Z1's a video game.
A game that was like made because of the H1N1 virus.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, I don't have much else to say about the GDC. And
this is like 2 weeks in a row we got coronavirus in.
That's true.
I think we're good.
Coronavirus in the podcast twice in a row. But we are going to move on to something that I think we're all very excited to talk about. But we're going to take a very quick break from the editor.
Hey there. Are you looking for your fix for video game news, reviews, podcasts, and more? Our dedicated team of men are working hard to churn out new content every single week. Subscribe now.
Okay, and we're back. So our next story is about our beloved Nintendo Switches. The Switch turned 3 on March 3rd, which is 2 days before this video was uploaded. The Switch launched on March 3rd of 2017, and we wanted to take a look back at the last 3 years. So the Switch is turning 3. What are your 3 favorite games on the Switch, and why? And the criteria for this, you guys, is that we picked 2 games that are exclusive to the Switch, and then your third game could be a game that is cross-platform, is third-party, is whatever, but doesn't necessarily need to be a exclusive game to the Switch. And we'll start with Camilo.
Okay, so I gotta start with Breath of the Wild. That's the launch title that put my jaw on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I just really loved it, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna say that, but it's amazing, and you should play it if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say Pokemon Let's Go, because I have a lot of playtime on my Switch. I've played like over 500 hours in Pikachu, and I probably have like 20 or 30 hours in Eevee. So I really enjoyed that. I have like over 100 shinies in that game, so I liked it a lot. And Cuphead, because when Cuphead first came out, I didn't have an Xbox and I couldn't play it, and I really wanted to play it, but I didn't have the platform. So when it finally came out for the Switch, I preloaded it immediately, and I love Cuphead.
When you came to visit me, had Cuphead already come out on the Switch?
No. But
so had you played it beforehand then?
I think I couldn't wait, and I just like bought it on PC. I played it like a little bit.
There you go.
Did you beat it?
No, I played like a little bit before I played with Phil, but I haven't beat it yet. But it's probably my favorite third-party game.
All right, so let's stay on Camilo for a minute. I'm gonna grill you. Why Let's Go and not Sword Shield?
Because I saw you were gonna talk about it, but I do like Sword and Shield a lot. But fair. I don't know. I feel like people just gave up on Let's Go once Sword and Shield came out, and I recently started playing it again because I'm trying to play through it in French, so that I can get really high IV Dittos that are in French, so I can breed them for shinies.
Okay.
So I've been trying to do it with like the raid system, and it's just really slow to get the Dittos, and then I get the Ditto and it's like the wrong one. So like if I just could get this, I can like set the nature, catch a bunch of them, and then change the nature, sets the nature. It'll be a lot quicker. And I'm having fun. I'm learning some French, and I already have like 3 French shinies.
That was pretty cool. All right, let's move over to Dan.
Okay, so I also definitely have to say Breath of the Wild as my first game. It is the game that got me back into gaming, essentially. When I first played that thing, it was like magic, and I played it. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing to just roam around that open world and explore and discover all the various things that they have perfectly, masterfully crafted into this amazing world. Second game I have to say is Super Mario Odyssey, because that is essentially everything I've been wanting in a Super Mario game, like a mainline 3D Mario game, ever since Super Mario 64 came out. And ever since then, they kind of diverged further and further from that formula. I never played Sunshine back in the day, but then recently I have played that, and it's not the same. But yeah, Odyssey definitely ticks all the boxes as to why I fell in love with the 3D Mario games to begin with.
Definitely.
And
harder,
the third one,
I was gonna say, just harder to play Sunshine now than back then. It's because there's so many more quality of life things you're used to that, like,
oh yeah, absolutely, that is
your experience.
Definitely related. Yeah, absolutely. And the third one, I'm gonna have to go with Sonic Mania, because like I've been a Sonic fan since back in the early 90s when I got a Sega Genesis. It was the version that came bundled with Sonic 1, and I got all the Sonic games back then and the classic Sonic 2D games, and I was eagerly awaiting the next game, and then 3D Blast came out, and that was cool, but it was totally different. And they never went back to that original classic side-scrolling Genesis-style formula until Mania. It's literally the game that I had been waiting for about 20 years.
Wow.
And where Sonic 4 completely failed on all fronts to capture that, Mania masterfully delivered in every single aspect. It was beyond all hopes and expectations in regard to just bringing me back to that amazing time of playing those Sonic games. Oh, I love it so much. Such a great game.
Are half of the levels like HD remasters, and then the other half are completely brand new?
Essentially, yeah. I think like the split is like more than half are kind of remasters, but remaster is kind of misleading. I would call them more remixes. They take like elements of 2 or 3 of the different zones and combine them in a way that makes it an entirely
into a new stage. So there's there's no like actual, this stage was in Sonic 1 and now it's in Sonic Mania. It's like part of Sonic 1 was in here and here's part of Sonic, like,
I mean, surface level, yes, because there's like Chemical Plant Zone, which was in Sonic 2 and also in Sonic Mania, but they include elements from Wacky Workbench and Sonic CD into Chemical Plant Zone, and a couple other elements from different zones, including Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine as the boss of that zone. Freaking mind-blowing, and so it's a totally different experience than you would get just playing Chemical Plant through on its own.
Here's a random tangent and a question for you that you probably know the answer to. Was Mean Bean Machine marketed as Puyo Puyo in Japan and Mean Bean Machine in America, or no?
Puyo Puyo came first, and Mean Bean Machine is a reskin localization of Puyo Puyo, and they never mentioned Puyo Puyo within Mean Bean Machine. It's always just been Mean Bean Machine.
When they localized it, they like reskinned it.
Yeah, it's a reskin, but it's the exact same game. Gotcha. It looks the same, but the characters and the dialogue and those elements are different.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. John?
So I will not say Breath of the Wild, even though I do like Breath of the Wild. I've actually found more enjoyment out of Splatoon 2. That was a game that got me really into making content and streaming. I spent a ton of time, and I enjoy it so much. I hope they have a Splatoon 3 soon, because I need to feel that like that, the feeling of like just fun playing with other people, splatting everywhere.
Yeah, were you very involved in the various Splatfests?
Yeah, I didn't really like the
Nice.
Splatfest too much. I thought they were, I don't know. It's only turf war, and that gets old after a while. That gets old after like 2 matches.
Okay.
What's your favorite mode?
Rainmaker. I think Rainmaker is a really cool mode.
What mode would you like to see them include in future Splatfests? In like number 3.
I mean, I'd like to see them use the ranked modes, like so it's not just turf war. So you have Splat Zones, Rainmaker. I don't like the other. I forget what the other one's called. The new mode that they introduced in this Splatoon 2.
Wasn't it what was the one where you like it was like oysters or something?
Yeah, the cloister one. I don't like that one. Tower control is pretty cool. I wish they would like add some new modes, because 4 of the modes are all from Splatoon 1. They added that one ranked mode, and I thought that they were going to add more. I'd like to see like a capture the flag mode.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Even like a battle royale. I think that would work pretty well.
What about like a Slayer mode, but it's only
team deathmatch? Yeah, I think a team deathmatch would be really cool. Or search and destroy. I think they could implement a lot of the standard like shooter modes. They just haven't. And I want an endless salmon run.
Oh, that'd be cool. You just go as long as you
can. 3 rounds and then done. I mean, they could have that, but give me an endless one like zombies.
That'd be so stressful.
Yeah. I also am a huge fan of Super Smash Brothers. I played a lot of that. The Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is the best Smash. I don't care what anybody says. Melee is 20 years old now, and it's just not as good. There's not as many characters. It just feels dated, and doesn't have banjo in it. So
those are all the reasons why I would agree with you.
And my third party one is Dead Cells. That's another fabulous indie game. It's like a Castlevania roguelike, hard as nails. I beat it recently. And then you just unlock like a harder mode. So there's a lot of replayability. They just released DLC for it.
Yeah,
I've been playing that a little bit.
They have actually a physical version, right? That's like Game of the Year.
I think so.
I've seen that.
I think I've seen that. Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really good game. Like it's, I actually bought it on Steam. It was one of my only Steam games in early access, and then I got it when it came to the Switch.
Whoa!
I beat it on the Switch.
My question is, one of your only Steam games?
I don't have many.
You don't have 500 Steam games?
No, I have like 5.
Oh, I thought every gamer had like 500 Steam games, and that there were
0 Steam games.
Really?
Well, you don't have a gaming PC though.
But
I actually have
did,
a few
I probably
Steam
wouldn't
games.
either. I don't like playing on PC.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
like playing
man.
too much on
I have
PC,
hundreds.
Like I played Temtem. I played Temtem for a bit, and I like it, but it's like it makes my PC chug. I don't want to play it. I just don't like playing on this little. Well, I was gonna say I don't like playing on a little screen, but the Switch is the little screen.
Oh man! Well, that just changed my world. That's changed my worldview right there.
And I have game like I got Hollow Knight. Like all of my Steam games, I own on the Switch. Like I have Hollow Knight. I don't know what else. I don't have much else, but I have things like Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, Hat in Time. I don't have Hat in Time on Switch though.
Interesting. Very cool. All right, I guess I'll move on to mine. I will say that I guess most recently my favorite Switch game has been Pokemon Sword.
But didn't you say you were burnt out on it?
Well, I'm like I was burnt out on it, and now I feel like I'm playing it again because now Home is out. We did that shiny race. I feel like I'm getting reinvigorated back into Pokemon Sword. I want to get see. I need to print out a list of like which Pokemon I can actually transfer up because I actually don't know who's still locked out and who's not. So
A lot.
I want I want to like find out like, oh, who's a good team that I can bring up for like maybe, you know, catching Pokemon. Like, should I bring, because Smeargle
Smeargle's
locked?
not in.
Well,
Yeah.
You can't. Well, you can't. It's only like some of them that were locked. Like, it's not all the ones that are in the DLC.
You should like go through and because there's like 35 Pokemon that you can't catch in the game, but you can bring up now. So like all the starters and all that.
Yeah.
All right,
But like
yeah,
the
I'll
ones
look
that are
into it.
gonna be in the DLC, you can't transfer them yet.
But yeah, so I
Until
have
the
like
yeah.
Yeah,
I
until
have
DLC.
oh, I gotcha. I have like 2 hours of playtime in that game, and now that like all this new stuff is coming out, I feel like it's breathing new life into it. The DLC.
Did you say 2 hours? I
200?
thought I heard you say 2 hours.
200 hours.
200. I got you. Makes sense now.
Yeah, slightly more than that. I think I played 5 hours with you yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
So yeah, I'm excited. The DLC looks really cool. I like that they're going the DLC route. We've talked about it like in the past when we talked about the DLC announcement. I think that's a really cool way to go with it. So I'm getting back into it and like kind of like organizing my boxes, figuring out, you know, what Pokemon to bring up and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to get back into it. The best game ever made in the history of video games is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch.
I've never heard it. I never played that game.
It is so amazing. I have played it and beaten it multiple times on different difficulties. I like to do those like those like fake imposed challenges where you do 3 heart runs or you try to play the game naked. Like there's so many things that
Character, right?
Nope. Just me. Those I don't.
I mean, you could do both.
I could do both. It would make
You know what
for
I
a
find
very interesting
fascinating?
live
Like,
stream.
I mean, I love Breath of the Wild too. So like all 4 of us love Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
But you know, there's 50 million Switches out there, and it only sold 16 million copies. Like, what are these other people doing?
Yeah, it's a travesty. I want to see a Hestu cosplay run where someone dresses up like Hestu and plays through Breath of the Wild.
Remind me who Hestu is again?
Hestu is the guy who like upgrades your
The dude with the Korok
Yeah, the
seeds.
Korok, the big guy.
Oh,
The big tree dude.
He gives you the golden.
You
poop.
should have said that. The Korok seed guy.
No, he can say his
I don't
name.
know the
we
names.
We should have known his name.
Nah.
For as much as I've played that game, I should know that dude's name.
Yeah.
I guess I thought his name was Hestus.
Nah, it's
Well, I guess
Hestu.
yeah. If you know the Hestus GIF or whatever the
Hestu,
heck it's
yeah.
called.
So I'm into it, like it. I will continue to play it and go back to it. I take breaks for a few months and then I go back to it again. I just continue to go back to Breath of the Wild over and over and over again. I really, honestly, never get tired of it. There's always.
I need to finish the shrines. I didn't even get all the shrines.
Dude.
You never get all the shrines? Did you do the
I think I have
DLC?
like 30 left. I did the DLC.
Well, I mean, maybe this is why Breath of the Wild is not on his list. Because you did it 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's that 1/20th shrine that'll put you over the top.
I mean,
You just have to finish
maybe
it.
he hasn't found like
I
he's
think
like found all the not so good shrines and all the A+ shrines he forgot.
I think
I
I
do.
got
I
to
do.
like.
I do like Breath of the Wild. I think it is like one of the best games on the system.
I think
but,
I
like-
got to like 300 Korok seeds and then I stopped.
Yeah, it's not that, and then the
Yeah.
compendium. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not worth your time. That's just busy work. And then lastly, my game that's like the third party cross system, whatever category we made up, is the Mega Man Legacy Collection, Part 1, I'll say. Because
1 through 4.
that's 1 through 6.
1 through 6.
Those are the original NES games. I grew up playing those. Mega Man 4 was my first introduction to the series. So then when I went back and I was like, wait, he can't just charge his gun all the time. Made number 1s, 2, and 3 very difficult. And then I think you can't slide in 1 or 2.
You can't slide in 1. You
Or
can
it's
slide
just
in 2.
1.
I
You
think.
can slide in 2. Yeah, so there's just like he like progressively gets more powers like as the games go on, which make it a little bit easier. But those games are like Nintendo hard, but like I've played them so much that they don't feel Nintendo hard to me. I'm like,
if you know the like the order you do the
yeah, I don't
bosses
think
in,
the bosses are what make the game hard. I think it's the platforming is
platforming?
hard because Mega Man's physics like aren't that awesome. But the platforming is built as if Mega Man has Mario physics and can do whatever he wants. And it's just kind of tough. And sometimes it's just like they put an enemy in a spot where it's just like, how the heck am I supposed to get past this thing without losing half my health? Like
death spikes, one-shot kills.
Yeah, one-shot kill, death spikes. Just really like it's a challenging game. And
those are hard games.
And
Mega Man games are hard.
I think they have a physical version of that, but I bought it digital because I always want to be able to play it whenever I want. Like, it's probably the thing I play other than like Pokemon Sword, Breath of the Wild. It's one of the games that I boot up most frequently on my Switch, and I'm just trying to kill some time because
those collections are really the Mega Man collections are really good. Like,
I really like them.
I have Mega Man X collection,
and
it's just cool that you have 4 games like per collect. Well, that one has 4 games. I guess this one has 6. And then there's the Mega Man Zero collection that is coming out. Or came out. Is it out?
I know the press got copies of it. No, it came out last week because I think we announced it. Came out last week.
Yeah. So I wish Nintendo would do collections like this.
Yeah, that's not their business model. So yeah, that was all of our like favorite games. I'm sure we could gush about like all our runner-ups for hours and hours because I know we all are big Switch fans over here. But let's move on, switch gears a little bit, and I want to say with the Switch being announced as being kind of like in the middle of its life cycle, what do you envision its successor to look like?
Who knows?
For me, it's kind of hard to picture anything not portable. So the best I can come up with is basically the Switch, but with a better screen and
refined.
more powerful.
I want a smaller bezel.
Dream big, guys. Dream big.
There's a really funny. Oh, go ahead, Dan or John.
I was just saying, like,
I mean, the Switch
what
is
we
already
want to see successor, smaller bezel.
The form factor is like already perfect.
Yeah, not being able to take the next Nintendo console with me wherever I go would be difficult.
You don't think they'll split their divisions again, where you have a home console and a?
I think they're done with that.
Portable.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, that's the whole point of the Switch, and that's why everybody loves it. Because you, actually, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people
gives them that edge where they're like, oh, it's not as powerful, but it's portable. Like, you can't play the PS5 and Xbox Series X on the go.
Yeah, I can't see Nintendo going back to a console that you can't take with you and focusing in on like a new gimmick other than portability. Yeah, and they're never gonna go like head on with Xbox or PlayStation for graphics fidelity or anything like that.
I saw a very interesting diagram the other day where it was like the NES. It's like
every other console is like
brought in home like brought games to like the home console, like saved the video game industry, and then the Super Nintendo was like same thing, better graphics. And then after that, it was like the N64. It was like revolutionized 3D gaming, brought 3D games to the forefront for like Nintendo games. And then there's GameCube. Same thing, better graphics. And then after that, it was like Nintendo Wii. It's got like motion controls, like it got like casual gamers into gaming, like blah 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 blah. And then Wii U, same thing, better graphics. And then
they progressively got like sold worse. Like the SNES sold worse than the NES, I think. Maybe.
I mean, other companies do that too. Like they alternate. Like if you look at the iPhone, they alternate between like a radical design and like it's same thing. It just like runs better, kind of thing.
So yeah, to just complete my thought is she goes. Then since we're at Wii U, we move over again, and it goes Nintendo Switch. Like became like a home console and a portable system at the same time, like was really revolutionary. And then there's like a question mark, and then underneath it just says same thing, better graphics.
I think that they'll do a Switch Pro model.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think there will be a Switch Pro, and then you'll have something new after that.
The Switch X. I don't know.
Switch
Switch Series
XL.
X.
I would love to see them like really seriously delve into VR. They've dabbled in it, but that would be something
that
they,
went over
they could...
so well for them in the first.
They gotta up that resolution on that screen first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like one of the things they could like really focus in on and hone for the next system, so that they could actually do a proper VR where the Switch can't really do it, but they try. The next one.
I wouldn't put it past them. Like they were really gung ho on the 3D thing. Like this could be the new thing they're trying to go after.
Yeah. It's made for it, if not for the specs.
I find holding the Switch for an extended period of time is uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. Unless you have a grip.
I would say that I hope in the next generation that it's more fitted for the human hand.
I like holding the Switch Lite.
Not just looking like a tablet.
Yeah, my wife got me for Christmas a piece of plastic that was 3D printed by someone who makes these things that snaps the tablet into the top half and the Pro Controller into the bottom half. And it is amazing. I love it so much.
That's definitely the best way to play.
I got a grip.
Yeah, I got a grip.
Skull and Co grip, and it's really good. I like it.
I got like a cheapo grip. It's like a Tori, and it was like $15. But
the one I got was only like $15 too. It wasn't that expensive.
The one, it's just like there's games that like it's hard. Like specifically when I was playing a lot of Minecraft, it was hard because you play that game for I played that game for like hours at a time, like trying to accomplish something, and then it's just like my hands. I'm like, do I have arthritis? Like, why do my hands hurt so bad? And then I bought that grip, and it stopped. It totally stopped.
I think it's impossible to play like shooting games with these little Joy-Con, like these little thumbsticks.
Yeah,
it's awful. Like, have you tried to play Doom in handheld mode? Does not feel right.
Yeah, the baby thumbsticks.
Fine control is just not there.
I just think that because it's not concave. I always get those words confused. I swear I have an education.
These are convex.
And then
PS4 is like dimpled, so that's concave.
Yeah, but the Pro Controller and everything, I think
those are
they're concave.
Concave.
I mean, there's like a lip. It's like depressed or whatever. What is it called?
The Pro Controller was the best $70 that I've spent.
Yeah, Pro Controller is great. It's a really great. It's like a good weight. It's like really good form factor in your hands. So yeah, I love the Switch Pro Controller. It's
the best controller I've used.
I think it's right. Yeah, that, and I've said that I arguably like the latest version of the Xbox One controller because it has like grippy pads, but that's not the Switch.
Are you talking about the Is this like a matte?
Yeah, it's got like almost like porous, like dimplies all over it, and it feels really good. So yeah, I would imagine the successor to the Switch, same thing, better graphics, but hopefully a better form factor. Like that's what I want. I really don't see them going back to home console, like doing that split again. And then I'm wondering about two things: backwards compatibility, and whether or not it's. I feel like they've said that they're not just going to do a Pro model, right? They've outright said that.
No, they just said this year.
Yeah,
they said they have no
that changes
new
everything.
Switch models this year planned.
Okay, so then I know for sure what it's going to be. Better graphics, reduced bezel, and it's just going to have like a better processor. It maybe instead of a 720p screen, have like a 1080p screen.
I would hope for at least 1080p, higher even if you want to do VR.
It'll support up to 4K on docked mode.
Ooh, you think so?
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, they're always like a system behind, so potentially. They were a system, but with the Wii should have been an HD system, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then it took them to the Wii U to get it. So like, yeah, Switch is behind. They're doing 1080 docked.
Like this would be their like Xbox One S or like PS4 Pro kind of thing.
So yeah, maybe it is 4K. That's a pretty valid thought.
Could even be like the checkerboard 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind at all.
I would love to see like Breath of the Wild in 4K.
I hope it's a Pro.
If you go on the internet, you can find like those emulators. You could see Mario Galaxy in 4K.
But yeah, so all that being said, I feel like we're gonna get like, based on the past of like what they've been doing with like their oh my gosh, portable systems. It's like always been like an incremental upgrade. Like we got the Game Boy Advance and we got the Game Boy Advance SP. We got the DS and then we got the DSi. We got the 3DS and we got the 3DS XL. Then we got the new 3DS, 3DS XL. It's gonna be it's gonna be an XL. It'll be a Pro. It'll be Switch something with a different subtitle or prefix or something, and it'll play the old Switch games. It'll be backwards compatible with Switch games.
Well, because it's still a Switch. It's not a new platform yet. Yeah. Like the PS4 Pro is still a PS4.
That's true.
I just hope they don't call it the new Switch.
They're not known for nailing it.
I think they'll go Pro because, like, I don't know, they're called like the
Pro
iPhone with like iPhone 11 Pro. Like, I feel like a lot of companies are doing that.
Anyone remember the new iPad?
Mm-mm.
That was like literally the name of like the fourth iteration or something like that.
iPad now, so it's like the new iPad.
I mean, they could call it the new Switch because
but they already called the new Switch the Redbox Switch.
No, I just mean like they had the new 3DS and that was the more powerful 3DS.
And
so the naming convention is already set. Like it's been used before, so I can see them doing it.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they did
What
that.
about Super Switch?
That would be I would love that name.
That would be nice.
That would be good.
Yeah, anytime they include the word new in the iteration, it's confusing.
If they say Super Switch, though, I assume that's a new platform.
Yeah, like a new model.
That's
like a new generation or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be.
Well,
I think it'll be.
I think that's a thing. Like that kind of thing would be like 3 or 4 years down the line. Like once we're done with this Switch.
With this 8-year life cycle.
Yeah.
15-year life cycle.
Because like Nintendo is not an amped up NES. It's a new platform.
Yeah. Wait, 2020. So 5 more years if it's 8 years. So 2025. I think in 2025 we'll get Super Switch and it'll be a new thing.
Yeah, I would argue that the Super Nintendo, if they would have had it in their mind backward compatibility, it definitely would have been backward compatible with NES games. Because like ever since like the GameCube onward up until the Switch, every system has been backward compatible with the previous generation.
Well, because with the Wii, that's when they introduced like the Virtual Console too. So like you're backwards compatible with like everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so good. Like the Virtual Console back then.
So awesome.
Amazing.
All right. So the last question is, sorry, I'm going to move on quickly here. Everybody get their thoughts out on what they envision the successor to look like. Sweet. So we're going to share our memory of getting your Switch for the first time. My memory is that Amazon messed up my delivery and it went to the UPS facility and I got it at like 11 o'clock on launch day or something like that. I had to wait in line. It was awful.
I know a lot of people are having that issue. Like people did not get it on launch day when they order from Amazon.
But I was like still like ready, poised to make content when it came out. So, but I got Breath of the Wild, the game, like delivered right to my door, like at 8 in the morning or something ridiculous. And then I busted it out, and then one of my videos, you can find it on my channel, is cat licking the Switch cart.
We were talking about that. I think when you went to get a drink or something.
Yeah.
We were talking about how people used to lick cartridges.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. So Camilo, what was your experience on launch day?
So I couldn't decide if I wanted the neon or the gray one, and I went back and forth, and then I finally just I don't know if I actually wanted the neon because I went to GameStop and they only had one left, and it was the gray. I was like, okay, I'll take it. But it was for pre-order, and then when I went to get it, I remember it was really cold out because I was up in New York. And I went to the midnight launch. It was like 20 degrees out. I actually have a video of it on my channel. But yeah, that was like really exciting. I actually had the opposite problem. I had the Switch, but I couldn't get Breath of the Wild Special Edition from GameStop because they sold out. So I had to get it from Best Buy, but I had to wait until the next day to get it. So I had my Switch with no game. I ended up buying like I Am Setsuna. I like downloaded it. I played it for like an hour, went to bed, and then I didn't play it again. Because the next day I got Breath of the Wild.
But, it was like 3 launch titles. Dan.
So I didn't get the Switch on launch because I was a filthy casual, and like a month after launch, I've been seeing such amazing things about this game, Breath of the Wild, and I was like. It's like, okay, I mean, everyone seems to love it. I suppose I should try it. And there's probably going to be a new Mario game, so I should pick up a Switch. So then I couldn't find one because it's a month in, and every place is all sold out. Huge shortages. And so what I did was I had to track down and follow Toys R Us until they would like post about like we have a new shipment coming this day. And I called around and like found out the day that it was coming in, and it was about a month after launch, and they were going to open at 8 a.m., and I drove down at 10 p.m. the previous night.
Wow.
And I staked out in my car, and I was like watching the door the whole night for anyone else to show up, because they were only going to get like 20 units, and so like I staked this out like the whole night, and no one showed up until like 5 a.m. So 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. was just me in the parking lot, maybe another car or two eventually. And then 5 a.m., someone goes up with a chair, and then I follow them, and I was like second in line because I wasn't going to sit outside in the cold all night.
Oh my gosh.
But then I was second in line. And then by the time they opened, there was a line down the side of the building and around the corner.
Wow.
And only the first 20 people got a unit, and I got my unit, and it was glorious. Breath of the Wild was everything that everyone said it was, and more.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Dang, dude. That's a crazy story. I didn't think that you were going to have a story like that. John, do you have... Can you beat that?
I don't think I can beat that.
I think he's winning right now with the Switch stories.
I got launched, but I did have it was weird. So I don't know if you guys remember the reveal event that was like in January.
Oh yeah, that's
when they revealed like arms and all that stuff. It was over in Japan. Was it like in the middle of the night? I feel like
it was like 11 p.m. or something.
Yeah. So I watched the event, and I was waiting for pre-orders to go live, and they went live on Walmart. They stayed up until like 3 a.m. to get a pre-order on Walmart. So I pre-order on Walmart. Then March 3rd comes around, and I want to go to Walmart at midnight to get it at launch. So I get there. There's nobody there, and I was told that since I ordered online, like those Switches like weren't for me to buy.
That happened to me with the Wii U.
But so I was there. I was the first one in line. There was like 10 other people there, and they only had 3 Switches. And since I waited for so long, I waited for like probably an hour and a half. They just let me buy that Switch.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got my pre-ordered Switch in the mail, and I had to return that to Walmart. I didn't scalp it, which I
proud of
probably
you.
could have, but
I'm proud of you. There's also a video on my channel about how much I hate scalpers with the SNES Classic that I had a really hard time finding.
Oh, really? The SNES Classic? I thought that one was easy to find.
Not at first.
Yeah, when
The NES Classic, that one was rough. Like Kelsey, my girlfriend went Best Buy like December 20th, waited overnight to get it for Christmas. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. Girlfriend's doing cool things.
Yeah,
All right. Well.
Oh, no, you could just go.
All right, cool. All right, well, that was our Switch retrospective. We are very happy. I know it's been really cool having a Switch these last 3 years. Being content creators, I know it's been an awesome tool to have at our disposal. There's a lot of awesome games on it, and it's cool. I love it. I love my Switch. Let's move on to how we always end the show, talking about the new games and what we've been playing. New games this week. We got March 3rd, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus on PS4. On March 5th, we have Black Mesa coming out on PC. Also on March 5th, we have Ib and Ob coming to Switch. And lastly, on March 5th, we have Murder by Numbers coming to the Nintendo Switch. And on March 6th, we have Murder by Numbers coming to PC a day later. Pathologic 2 coming to the PS4. And on March 6th, we have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX coming to the Switch. All of those were on March 6th. And those are your new releases for this week. And we are going to talk about what we've been playing. So, Camilo, what you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. I was playing the International Challenge online tournament, so that was pretty fun. I've been breeding shinies and stuff. I got my Galarian Slowpoke the other day. It was cool. So yeah, just a lot of shiny hunting, really.
I love that one. It's gold.
Yeah.
Galarian Slowpoke. Wonderful.
You got one of them.
I did. I had 2.
Dan, what you been playing?
So I'm working my way through the Assassin's Creed franchise run. This week I started and finished Assassin's Creed 3 and thought it was terrible. And then started Assassin's Creed 4 and have not finished it because I've been enjoying it so much.
Wow.
Everything that was wrong with number 3, they completely flipped around and made amazing in number 4.
Awesome.
And I'm really digging it.
That's
3
awesome.
really burned me out. Like that's when I kind of stopped playing those games because 3 was just.
I really
was a
like 3.
slog.
4 burned me out so hard.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. John, what have you been up to?
I've also been playing some Pokemon. I recently won a shiny race.
Oh,
and,
congratulations.
Felt amazing.
I
But no, that was
congratulated
fun.
you on Twitter.
I did enjoy that. That was fun. And I picked up Darksiders Genesis.
Yep. The Diablo-like.
The Diablo-like kind of. I don't know. It's not as good. And oh my god, do you want to talk about how bad games look on Switch? That game, it looks like, when you just wipe down a table with water instead of like Windex, like a glass table with like water instead of like Windex or something.
Oh,
God.
It just looks like a big smear across it. It's like one of the worst looking games in handheld mode that I've seen.
I pre-ordered that game and never picked it up because I was just kind of like not motivated to get it.
It's okay. I mean, it's not.
I think I might move my pre-order over if GameStop will let me. Because there's something else that's coming out that I really want to get.
You know what?
Oh,
I think
the
I
Mega Man.
pre-ordered Pokemon Sword and Shield at GameStop, and I never picked it up. So I got it at Target.
Did you pay $5 or?
Yeah, the $5, but I never went back to move it to something else. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Some guy pocketed your $5. So what I've been playing Neo, trying to get that game done before Neo 2 comes out. Guess what, guys? Unlikely. Been streaming Persona 4 a little bit, but I've had to put that on the back burner because I've got a lot of videos that I am trying to make on my personal channel, and that requires me to play a lot of different games. So I've been playing those games. And then also I've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 because after all that Baldur's Gate hype, I'm just like, I want to play Baldur's Gate 3, and Divinity Original Sin 2 is like the closest thing. And that's it. that's everything. That's all your stories. That's what we've been playing. That's all the new games that are coming out this week. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and ring that notification bell. You can also check out the audio version of this podcast on Google Play, Spotify, and iTunes. Don't forget to join the Discord to keep in touch with us and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All these links can be found in the description. Thanks again for watching. And thank you guys for co-hosting with me. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.